It is April 9th, 2003. The world watches a historic event live on television. In the center of Baghdad, a 6-meter-tall bronze statue is torn from its pedestal and dragged through the dust. Symbolically, Saddam Hussein's regime has ended, but as the statue fell, the man of flesh and blood had already vanished. In the following weeks, the Americans conquered the presidential palaces. They found hundreds of gold bars, automatic rifles entirely of gold, and extremely luxurious rooms, but they did not find him. Saddam Hussein, the dictator who had held Iraq in an iron fist for 24 years, had become a ghost. He had millions of dollars at his disposal, a network of loyalists ready to die for him, and a knowledge of the territory superior to that of any American spy satellite. This is the story of how the greatest hunt for a man in modern history concluded, not with an epic battle, but in a dirty hole in the middle of nowhere. Welcome to Operation Red Dawn. Immediately after the invasion, the Pentagon faces a logistical nightmare. The leaders of the bot regime are all on the run. To simplify the hunt, military intelligence creates the famous deck of cards. 55 cards for 55 targets. Saddam is the ace of spades. His sons are the ace of hearts and the ace of clubs. To find him, Task Force 121 is activated, a secret elite unit composed of operators from Delta Force, Navy SEALs, and CIA agents. They are the best of the best. They have drones, silent helicopters, and the most advanced interception technology on the planet. But there is a problem. All this technology is useless against Saddam. The dictator has understood one fundamental thing. If he uses a phone, a satellite, or a radio, he is dead. Saddam takes a leap back in time. He stops using electronics. He communicates only via hand-delivered mail, paper notes, and word of mouth. 4 months, Task Force 121 strikes into the void. They receive a tip. They leave with the helicopters. They kick down the doors, but find only beds still warm or half-eaten food. Saddam is always one step ahead. We arrive at the summer of 2003. Frustration among U.S. commanders is through the roof. The Iraqi resistance is growing and uses Saddam's freedom as propaganda. Intelligence decides to change strategy. They understand that Saddam will never trust his guards, the officer corps, or the generals. He will trust only his blood. In July, there is a bloody turn. Thanks to a decisive tip, American intelligence tightens the circle around a villa in the wealthy neighborhood of Al-Falah. In Mosul, the target is not just anyone. Inside are Uday and Qusay, the feared aces from the deck of wanted cards, the dictator's sons. The military surrounds the building. What was supposed to be an arrest transforms instantly into a war zone. The same brothers, barricaded on the second floor with an arsenal of automatic rifles, respond to the megaphone with fire. They have no intention of coming out alive. The standoff lasts almost 4 hours. U.S. soldiers attempt 3 breaches, but are repelled by a hail of bullets. The situation is deadlocked. Command decides not to risk anymore. They order heavy fire. 10 anti-tank missiles are fired in sequence against the villain, gutting it completely. When the dust settles and special forces enter the rubble, they are dead. Saddam's dynasty has ended in blood. The real key arrives when intelligence identifies a name that keeps repeating. In the interrogations of low-level prisoners, the al-Muslit family, in particular one man, Mohammed Ibrahim al-Muslit, is described as the head of Saddam's personal security, his right hand, the only one who knows where the big boss sleeps. The hunt shifts towards him. If they catch Ibrahim, they catch Saddam. For months they comb the country, and finally the trap springs. Mohammed Ibrahim is captured. The interrogation is brutal and quick. At first, he denies everything, but after hours of psychological pressure and the promise of protection for his family, he breaks. He reveals the unthinkable. Saddam is not in Syria. He is not in a luxury bunker. He is in Adar, a small agricultural area near the Tigris River, on a farm. After months of searching, the position of the world's most wanted man has finally been located. Operation Red Dawn is activated. About 600 soldiers from the 4th Division, infantry and special operators from Task Force 121 surround the area. The target is 2 isolated farms, codenamed Wolverine 1 and Wolverine 2, at 8 in the evening. Under the cover of darkness, special forces burst in. They search the main buildings, nothing. They check the tool sheds, the stables, nothing. They find weapons but no dictator. It seems like yet another dead end. The field commander is almost about to order the retreat. But then, near a mud and dust hut, something doesn't add up. A soldier notices a rope going under a wooden plank. It seems placed in a too artificial way. He lifts it, and under his feet a black hole opens. It is a spider hole, a narrow vertical tunnel, about 2 meters deep, with a plastic tube coming out to let air in and a fan. It is the moment of truth. The Delta Force soldiers shout in Arabic and English to come out. They point their weapons into the darkness, ready to throw a fragmentation grenade. But from the darkness emerge 2 dirty hands. Raised in a sign of surrender, the man who was pulled out of the hole is unrecognizable. He has a long and unkempt beard, matted hair, wearing worn-out clothes. He looks like a homeless man. Not the man who owned palaces of gold. He is disoriented, trembling. In broken English, he tells the soldiers, "I am Saddam Hussein. I am the president of Iraq, and I want to negotiate." An American soldier looks at him and replies, with a phrase that went down in history, "President Bush sent his regards." Saddam was carrying a loaded Glock 18C pistol. He could have fought or committed suicide. He chose to surrender without firing a shot. In the hut, they also find $750,000 in cash, inside a briefcase. A few hours later, the news goes around the world. In Baghdad, Civil Administrator Paul Bremer takes the stage at a packed press conference and utters 4 words. "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him." Videos of the medical inspection are released. We see a military doctor checking the teeth and hair of Saddam as if he were a horse. That image of humiliation is calculated to destroy the myth of his invincibility in the eyes of Iraqis. Saddam Hussein is tried by a court in Iraq for crimes against humanity and sentenced to death. He will be hanged on December 30th, 2006. The capture of Saddam Hussein was an incredible tactical victory, a masterpiece of intelligence and special forces, but it did not stop the war. Violence in Iraq continued for years. However, that December 13th, 2003 remains as one of the most iconic moments of the 24th century, the proof that, no matter how high you have climbed, or how deep you have dug your hiding place, in the end, the past always comes to collect.